Right, hello everybody. So what we've got here is episode 13 of our long list of economic sessions. In number 12, the previous one, we looked at how the market would adjust if a firm was making supernormal profits. So if a firm had more revenue coming in than costs, we looked at that and we thought, well, that's going to attract new firms into the market, and we showed how that would increase supply in the market and return individual firms to just normal profits. What we've got today is a different scenario. So if you look carefully at these diagrams, the one on the left is the whole market again, and the individual firm is on the right, and I'll always have them in that order. But we can see that the market on the left has reached an equilibrium price at P1 and quantity QM, where if we map that along to the individual firm, you'll notice that the demand is perfectly elastic, it's horizontal, and again, if you're not sure why, go back to the previous episode. But the whole of our purple demand curve is underneath the average cost. So it means that no matter what quantity this firm makes, remember its axes in hundreds, no matter where it operates, its revenue is going to be below costs. So we still apply the rule that the firm will choose to set its output where the last one adds as much to revenue as it does costs. So we'll call that Q1, that's marginal revenue. Marginal revenue equals marginal cost. That's where the firm is going to set its output level at Q1. So if we look at that, we can see that the area of revenue is just going to be this purple shaded area. That's all the money the firm has got coming in. However, its area of costs, if you look carefully, are that quantity but multiplied by that much per item. Its costs are much greater, so it's going to be making a loss. Okay, there's no way this firm can possibly be doing anything other than losing money. And we assume, because of all our other assumptions and conditions, that this information is the same for all firms in this industry. So that leads us to think, well, what's going to happen here? What would this firm choose to do? And I'm going to take away those purple lines so I can show you the next bit. But it seems common sense that this firm is not going to want to stay in this position for long, is it? Okay, so what will happen is this firm has got no barriers to entry, so it was able to roll up into the market really easily, but equally it's got no barriers to exit. And if, as in this case, it's not able to make any money, then there's no reason for it to stay operating in the market. And what we would see is a shift in the market conditions. What we'd notice is that lots of firms would say, no, this isn't working, we are going to leave the market. And in that case, we'd see a change in supply. The supply curve would move positions, and we know that that would be called a shift. Okay, the supply curve would shift to the left. Lots of firms would leave the market. Okay, the total supply in the market is going to decrease, and it would shift left until we reach this point. So we'll call that quantity market 2, and we'll call this price 2. Now the first thing to observe is that because firms have left the market price has gone up. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Now let's have a look at what the impact of that is for the individual firm. So if we map that all the way across here, okay, we'll see what we've got now. So we'll call that average revenue 2. is the same as marginal revenue 2 and demand 2, so it's the demand curve. And what's happened is that the firm is able now to charge a higher price for its product. There's less firms in the market, and we've reached marginal revenue equals marginal cost here. Call that Q2. So although the total amount of output in the market has decreased, you can see that on the left, it's decreased from QM to QM2, our individual firm has actually seen a slight increase in its output by that much. And importantly, what that's actually allowed it to do is generate more revenue. So I'm going to colour in the revenue that this firm is getting in green at the new higher price. Okay, so all of that green area is revenue. And you can see what's going to come next. The total costs will be the average cost, so it's P2 multiplied by the quantity Q2. It's actually identical to what we've got in our revenue. Okay, which means we're back at normal profits. This firm is operating, it's not got any money left over, its revenue is now equal to cost. So what I'm going to do is make a few notes here about what's gone on. Okay, so let's change the colour of the pen. So at first, firm was making a loss. Okay. Total revenue was less than total cost. Importantly, because of our assumptions about barriers to entry, so no barriers to entry or exit, so that means that the firm isn't tied into long contracts to pay rent or anything like that. No barriers to entry or exit means that some firms leave the market. Okay, and as a result of that, the market supply shifts left. Which in turn causes price to rise to P2. Okay, and the firm, the individual firm, so the demand curve for the firm shifts to AR2. Okay, so what's happened now is that the total revenue, our new, so the new equilibrium is at P2 Q2 for the firm. And here, total revenue is exactly equal to total cost. And if you can recall, we would call that as economists normal profit. Okay, so make sure you've got this in your notes. It's all really important. I know a couple of you have been in touch saying, crikey, there's loads of new curves going on here. I understand that, and this isn't ideal, but at least you get to repeat and pause my videos. Please do get in touch with any questions about it. So what we've actually done in our analysis today and in the previous session is to say, well, do you know what? It doesn't really seem to make any difference where we start off. in perfect competition. If we start off with the firm making supernormal profits, then we know more firms will arrive and the price will go down and we'll end up with normal profits. Or if we start off with the firm making a loss, then what happens is some of the firms will leave the market, price will rise, and we'll move to an equilibrium where we've got normal profits again. So that's a really important point about perfect competition, is that no matter where we start off, so we will always end up with normal profits in the long run. In perfect competition. Okay, so any questions, email me, get back in touch, that's fine. I'm hoping to see some of you soon over the internet on a Google Meets. Otherwise, email me. Make sure you're doing your best to keep up, and we'll do our best to support each other. Thanks very much.